In August, we were camping with our Scamp RV at the Depot Travel Park in Cape May, New Jersey. And this was a dog-friendly trip. You stay. Good boy. It's about 12:30 right now. So a lot of people have already left. So the campground, I mean in general, especially considering how crowded this campground is, it has actually been pretty quiet. And we are getting ready to go out for the day. I think our first stop is going to be the Naval Air Museum, which is dog friendly, because we really have to work this whole trip around Redford. He's not allowed on the beach, or at least most of the beaches, so we have to be creative and find the dog-friendly things. Have to say, this morning, Red and I were sitting in the Gazelle, and that was just so nice to have that extra space to be outside and not get attacked by bugs or anything, not be in the sun. And I was able to put the privacy screens down so I could do some yoga without people staring at me, which is always nice. So, you know, we keep working on our setup and getting things a little bit more dialed in so that it works well for us. Right, Red? Yeah. Oh, good boy. Okay, you're ready to go. Water's off?
Yep.
We're trying to get in the habit of turning the water off before we go out for the day, just in case, you know, if one thing was leaking, you know other things might end up leaking.
Don't want to come back to a big puddle.
Yeah, I remember that one time, where were we? I think
they were leaking.
In Pennsylvania, there's a trailer, and it was an older trailer, and their water intake was leaking. At least it was outside.
Yeah.
The thing I fear more is an inside leak, so then one less thing to think about during the day. The Naval Air Museum was another thing that I found on bringfido.com, and it was pretty close to where we were camping, so we thought it would be a good stop. Museum, right. In our travels, we have visited quite a few air and space museums, but after visiting this one, it is now our favorite. And there's a couple reasons for that, but one of them was how interactive the exhibits are.
So they probably were never more than a few thousand feet up.
Left me standing right on the boardwalk. Of course, I knew my way home because I was born here.
You're going to bars, you would drink and, you know, have a little fun and all of it.
Oh gosh, barky barkies.
Barky barky. Pretty expensive.
It's really cool that, like, even the roof is really neat. The experience starts in the Ready Room, where you get to watch a film that gives you a great overview of the history of this hangar and how it fell into disrepair and was almost demolished until the owner bought it and put some pretty extensive work into fixing it up. But it also focuses on the local history. We've been to a lot of air and space museums, but this one in particular really focuses on what happened in this area. The exhibits have all sorts of interactive features. You can go onto some of the aircrafts. There's music playing that really gives you the feel of that time period. This was an air traffic control tower that they took apart and reassembled inside the hangar that you can actually walk into and see what it would have been like at that time period with some of the interesting technology that they had at that point to help with the process of flying. There are different airplanes from all sorts of time periods, so you really get a good overview of some of the different equipment that were being used by people who were fighting in these wars. Very often when you are in a museum like this, the exhibits are kind of far away from you, everything is roped off, but these you can walk right up to them and really look at them from different angles to see some of the details or to look inside of them, like this Jeep. And for a lot of them, they ask you not to touch them so that they can preserve the pieces, but then there are certain ones that you can go and sit in, which makes it that much more interesting and interactive. Very neat.
Mr. Vice President, Speaker, members of the Senate, the House of Representatives, yesterday, December 7th, 1941, a date which will live in infamy. The United States of America was suddenly and deliberately attacked.
Throughout the museum, there are several memorials to remember the 42 service members who lost their life during training missions. The pilots who were training here were very young and very inexperienced, so there were quite a few accidents that resulted from that. But the museum also shows some of the elements of life outside of what was going on in the war. This propeller was recently found in the ocean about 120 miles south of Cape May from one of those training accidents. They have these super tall doors in here so that the airplane mechanics could get the giant propellers in and out of the room. We talked to the people working in the gift shop, and they said that the owner of the museum likes to bring his dog to work with him, so he decided to make the whole museum dog friendly and encourage people to bring their dogs to enjoy the experience as well. And it's so nice because there's really not many things that we can do like this where we get to bring Redford, and he was really having a great time. He's coming in. He's gonna be your co-pilot.
Yeah, co-pilot.
You've got a furry co-pilot. You can push all the buttons and everything?
I'm pushing the buttons.
So cool. You can probably tell that Patrick really likes airplanes, and he actually thought about becoming a pilot at one point. They even have the official airport weather report playing in the background to make it feel really official. I'm not sure who was enjoying this more, Patrick or Redford. They were both quite excited to be able to get into all the different aircrafts. And I don't think there's very many dogs who can say that they've been inside of a helicopter, but now Redford has been inside of a helicopter. The museum includes exhibits from several different branches of the military, including the Coast Guard. This one is huge. The other ones are so small. Yeah, this is gigantic. We were walking on all sorts of different surfaces that Red has never really been exposed to, so he was just a little bit hesitant, but he actually did great. He's getting used to walking on weird things. Good boy, Red. Oh, you're okay. Since we live by the shore, there's a strong Coast Guard presence in the area, so it was neat to see the Coast Guard exhibit. What do you think? It's kind of weird, huh?
First time on a boat.
Yeah. It looks like Redford will be sticking with land-based activities for now. We always like to take note if a place is RV friendly or not. And you could definitely park here with your RV as long as it's not real crowded. If we had the Scamp, we'd be able to park. I'm glad we came here. I think this was one of the neatest things that we've done recently, and it was just really well done. All the interactive exhibits where you can actually like get into the planes and the helicopters. So neat. I think we went to an Air and Space Museum in Denver, and I think we like this one even better, especially because we could bring Red. The employees were fussing over him and telling him how handsome he is, and he loves that, of course. But they said the owner likes to come in every day with his dog, so he made it dog friendly. So We were starting to get hungry, so we looked up a place to go eat that would be dog friendly, and I found this interesting place called the Exit Zero filling station. It used to be a gas station that they converted to a restaurant that has an outdoor seating area where the gas pumps used to be, and they have a few different vintage trailers on the property as well, so this was right up our alley. This is one of the most unique places that we have eaten recently. These vintage trailers have been gutted on the inside, and they actually have a table and chairs in there, so if you want to have your meal inside one of the trailers, you can make reservations to do that seating. But we ended up sitting outside because it was a beautiful day. Patrick got a curry, and I got a burger that had an onion ring with a curry batter on it. Very interesting menu. They also have a doggy menu, but Redford's kind of a picky eater, so we didn't get him anything. Between the interesting location, the theme of the menu, the dog friendliness, this was just a great fun experience. Something very memorable and different than your typical restaurant. Are you looking up ice cream already?
Yeah, sunset.
Alright, well, I need some time before I can do ice cream. We headed back to our campsite for a little while, and we wanted to show you why we got the Gazelle. Oh, fall. But that's actually one of the reasons we got the deluxe with the walls on it, because we saw that if it's cold and we don't want to sit in the Scamp, ooh, there we go, we can put all the walls down and then bring our propane heater out, and you know, it'll keep it a little warm if we want to hang out outside of the Scamp during the day or if it's raining or anything. It really just expands our outdoor space quite a bit. Okay. And then you can pick and choose which ones you cover depending on where your neighbors are. So we're closing that one because we have somebody right behind us. And then we'll keep the other ones open for airflow. So I think it's one of the best additions to our camping gear that we have done recently. Someone took a nap. You needed a nap, didn't you? He's still pretty tired. This has been a very adventure-y day for this guy. You need to sleep more? Oh, good boy. Okay. We do have to go get ice cream, though. Alright. After Redford and Patrick had their nap, we got back into the car and headed toward downtown Cape May. We were going to get ice cream and then walk to the beach for the famous sunset from Sunset Beach. But for that one, we will see you in the next video for part 3 of exploring the town of Cape May, New Jersey. Thanks so much for being here and sharing this adventure with us. We will see you in the next one.
Well, you worried about you and me, the injustice, the next president to be, the news and what you hear, your career. It's time for you to face those fears, and it's all fair to be aware, and I'll be there, so don't be scared. Just take a deep breath of air, and 1, 2, 3 to 10, you begin to focus again, and though time flies, we'll have enough to realize this bigger than the both of us.